What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 6 of Rebel Roundtable, the first official podcast of Rebel Sports Network here at UNLV. I'm your host, Palacios, here with my co-host, Thomas Gobbo.
Yeah, we're back from spring break. A lot of stuff happened, and we're just going to get right into it.
Yes, as normal, Thomas will lead us in the national news, and I will take us back to UNLV Athletics. So, Thomas, get us started.
Yep, so on the 17th, the USA unfortunately lost to Venezuela in the WBC final, and they lost 3-2. It was very rough watching that game. They have this all-star caliber lineup, and they couldn't even get a hit until the third inning, and then didn't go.
They were scoreless, right?
Scoreless until the eighth, where Bryce Harper hit a monster home run to tie the game, but Venezuela said, nope, we're winning.
Yeah.
RBI double in the ninth. Eugenio Suarez basically wins it. And Venezuela captured their first WBC title in history. And the USA has lost back-to-back WBC finals to Japan in 2023. So it's not been going good. But hopefully in 2029, they can win every 3 years. So.
Yeah, I would be 29.
I don't know. Shout out Paul Skeens against the DR. Probably one of the best lineups we've ever seen, and pitched an amazing game, allowed one home run, but that was the only score for the DR, as the USA scored 2 solo shots to win it and knocked the best team out of the tournament, but then lost.
Yeah.
But now it is March. We got March Madness going on. A lot of interesting matchups. I would not say there's been a lot of upsets like there has been
typically
in the past. Usually in the past, that's what people live for. But that just goes to show how these top seeded teams are, I guess, staying top seeded and not losing to outcast teams. And but we'll go ahead with some of the upsets. Number 9 TCU upset Ohio State 66-64. High Point, that was an upset game. Number 12 High Point upsets number 5 Wisconsin 83-82, and number 11 VCU upset UNC. A lot of people did not like UNC in that first round just because their best player, Caleb Wilson, is hurt, which they ultimately lost. But number 11 Texas, who has been playing great basketball, they upset BYU and AJ DeBonsa, even though he had 30-something points, 79-71. And then the Mountain West owned Utah State beat Villanova. That's crazy. 86-78. Villanova, a powerhouse basketball school, former national championship winner back in 2016. The golden year, I guess you would say. And, number 9, just happened the other day. Number 9, Iowa just beat Florida. Number 1, Florida. And, now we're moving on to the Sweet 16, which will be on Thursday and Friday, where there are a lot of interesting matchups going on there. Texas and Purdue, number 11 versus number 2. Iowa and Nebraska. Arkansas, Arizona. Arkansas led by John Calipari and Darren Acuff Jr., who just signed his, I believe, with Reebok earlier this morning, but he's been one of the best players for Arkansas and in the entire country this year. So shout out, bro. Then number 3, Illinois versus number 2, Houston. Houston, a powerhouse. And, the 27th, probably the best 4 games of the Sweet 16 all in one day. First game, St. John's and Duke. Rick Pitino versus John Shire. Cam Boozer versus a collective group of guys. Rick Pitino has that squad rolling. And that is personally my pick to win the entire thing.
Who?
St. John's, the Red Storm.
I honestly haven't really been paying attention to March Madness. I only paid attention to UNLV, and then I fear that ended kind of early. We'll get there. But all I know is Drew picks Duke, so I guess. Yeah,
Duke is pretty much everyone's pick to win it.
But didn't they almost choke against...
Oh, yeah. They were losing. Siena. Number 16, Siena. A lot of people their brackets would have been busted within the first 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure everybody picked Duke unless you didn't like Duke and you picked, Siena just because you're a Duke hater. I don't know. But Alabama's playing Michigan. Michigan, number 1 in their respected region, and they're playing for a right to advance to the Elite Eight. And probably another one of the best games on this day, MSU, Michigan State University, Tom Izzo versus UConn. Dan Hurley and the Huskies, back-to-back national champions 2 years ago, I believe. And, number 6, Tennessee versus Iowa State, who knocked off... Who did they knock off? Kentucky in dominant fashion the other day. They're playing great basketball, led by TJ Osselberger. I've never even heard of the dude, but he's got the guys playing. And yeah, that's it for March Madness. So stay tuned until next week, where we have the Elite Eight going on. And now MLB opening day starts tomorrow. Yankees Giants, in your hometown, kinda. Maybe like no.
What, that is not.
No.
I was
Maybe
like New York and San Francisco.
How far is that from San Bernardino?
San Francisco?
Yeah.
Just a calm little 9 hours.
Oh my gosh. Oh my.
Yeah, not my hometown, guys.
But yeah, Aaron Judge is going back home to California, where he played baseball at Fresno State. That game is on 5:05 on Netflix. The first game ever being on Netflix. And then the 26th, my Pirates, go Pirates, play the Mets. Oh gosh, on NBC and Peacock at 10:15. So
why? Oh gosh.
The Mets. The Mets spend a lot of money, and their lineup is supposed
amazing.
Their lineup is supposed to be good, but Paul Skeens gonna hold us down. We're gonna win.
Is he the opening?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know why. That was a dumb question.
And then your Dodgers host the Diamondbacks, 5:30. That's also on NBC and Peacock. They switched a lot of these games over to
Peacock,
NBC and everything. I'm not sure why. They took off Sunday Night Baseball for some reason this year, but no more Sunday Night Baseball. Ah, shucks.
I was gonna say I don't really.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people really paid attention to Sunday baseball unless you had nothing going on that day.
Real. And then there's a lot of other games to kick off the season, but these are just the ones that we highlighted. But a lot of teams looking improved to 1-0 to start the season.
Take a guess why we chose these ones to highlight.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean...
Nah, it's not like it's our favorite teams or anything.
No, I mean, not the first ever Netflix, and definitely not our favorite teams.
Yeah, real. But go Pirates, let's go. We're making the playoffs this year.
And Dodgers will probably win.
You heard it here first. If the Pirates make the playoffs, I will be going to Pittsburgh to attend a playoff game. Yeah. I said it last year, but we didn't make it. So maybe this year, keep saying it until it happens. It'll come true.
Maybe you're jinxing it.
Nah, I've only said it the past 2 years. They haven't made the playoffs since...
Forever? I wouldn't know. We make it every year, so...
2015?
I was rough. 9.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Go Pirates. Let's go. Now on the UNLV stuff.
Yes. So, since we did not have an episode over spring break, as much as we'd love to cover every single sport and every single event and game that happened during that break,
we can't.
Unfortunately,
we'll be here for 3 hours.
Yeah, we'd be here forever. So we're just going to start off with women's golf because they competed at the Jackrabbits Invitational, where sophomore Amber Chen picked up her first career victory, overall in the entire tournament, and then the team also secured the team title. And then Ziyu Fong, which I remember saying her name a lot last semester, she was awarded runner-up. So we have... Did you add those? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Amber Chen, Golfer of the Week, as of last week.
Yeah, 319, yeah, yes. Last week.
And then Demi Du, Freshman of the Week, and now their next event will be at the Cowgirl Classic in Maricopa, Arizona, and that'll be not this, next weekend, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. So there'll still be another episode before that happens. Mm-hmm. And then their Mountain West Championships will be April 21st through the 23rd in California. Do we know where in California? Is it my hometown, or is just the entire state my hometown?
No, I think it was some small town, but it's in California. That's my birthday week, too. April 22nd. It's on a Monday.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, I know. So hopefully they can give me the birthday present and win.
On a Monday?
I think the 22nd's on a Monday.
When's my birthday? I don't know.
Yeah, shout out women.
No. I mean, like, obviously I know what my birthday is, but like, oh, I'm on a Saturday. Wait, am I? I don't want to know. Anyway, moving on to softball.
We got to shout out women's golf. They got first.
We just shouted them out.
In the Jackrabbits Invitational. They got first. Congrats.
Mind you, I just said that.
Yeah, let's go.
Go women's golf. And then I know that our men, I think it's this weekend. I don't know. Trevor was saying that they're in Palm Desert right now and that it's like very hot over there. Yeah. But he said it's not. I was telling him about when I was like in 5th to 6th grade, like all-star softball, you know, and we went to Palm Desert and it was 117 degrees and we were playing middle of the day games and like one of our umpires had to get like medically evacuated because he like passed out or something. And he was like, yeah, it's not that hot, but like it's still hot. It's always hot there, I feel like.
It's only March, so imagine like June, July.
Oh yeah, record-breaking March weather in California right now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you were just there, so describe the temperature. It was like 100.
Like, it was hot. But it was also like, it felt like summer. And it was nice because, like, it's only nice when it feels like summer if you're on break. Mm-hmm. But then you get back today, and it's hot, and you're like, okay, well, this is not break, and it's hot, and now I have to walk around this campus, and it's still hot.
It's hot here, hot there, hot everywhere.
Yeah.
And the grasshoppers are back here.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh, I almost died last night because I was in the McDonald's not parking lot. I was in the drive-thru, and I, like, rolled my... Sorry, super random tangent. I was in the drive-thru, and a fat... grasshopper, I don't know, it flew at me and I almost crashed because I like tried to swerve, but I'm in the drive-thru.
The hybrids are coming out.
Yeah, so moving on to UNLV softball.
UNLV softball.
Since our last episode, they have played 7 games, and they went 4-3 with wins against San Jose State, Utah Tech, and San Diego State. They got 2 wins, which also is kind of like they got a win against every team they played. So on the 13th, they fell to San Jose State 5-2, and then they won on the 14th against San Jose State 3-2, lost the 15th to San Jose State 4-3, and then on the 17th, which was St. Patrick's Day, the girls beat Utah State 11-3. And then they had like cute little like green uniforms.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, only the girls had that though. I don't think the guys did. But did they play on the 17th?
I didn't even know St. Patrick's Day was last week.
I didn't either.
Like until everybody started posting about it. I was like, oh shoot.
I went to the basketball game, so I was like in all red, and I was like, no, but nobody better pinch me today. Like, I would like put on a green bracelet. I was like, this is it. It was literally this bracelet. That's it. That's all I had.
Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day or happy late St. Patrick's Day.
To
everybody that celebrated.
I thought you were about to say something crazy.
No.
Anyway, moving on to the 20th, they played against SDSU and won 4-3, played them again on the 21st and won 6-3, and then fell on the 22nd against SDSU 13-7.
Got the series win against SDSU, and they're 16-16 on the short season so far, and Kiana Chavez is batting .404 for the softball team, and it leads the team. And our girl Bree Williams, I believe, is third. She's batting .385 with 5 home runs. Yeah.
The thing that's funny is that it feels like softball started like 2 weeks ago, and what do you mean they've played 32 games?
It's crazy because they're going rapidly.
Yeah.
Same thing with baseball. They play games every single day, it feels like.
It really does feel like that because I know that coming up this weekend, we have... They have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday they're playing San Jose State. Monday they're playing Cal State Bakersfield, I think. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday they're playing New Mexico. That's 7 games in like 8 days?
Mm-hmm. How do they even go to class?
They probably
go to
don't. Yeah.
class.
I mean, I know a lot of them are transfers, and I know a lot of them are taking, like, primarily online classes to the point where, like, I was trying to, sneak peek, trying to get some of them to come on the pod. And I was like, oh, yeah, we film in Greenspun. We film in the podcast studio, like in the basement pretty much.
They're like, where's that?
They said, yeah, where's that? And I was like, oh, the podcast studio? Like, you go in the lobby and you turn left and you go down. They're like, no, what's Greenspun? I was like, oh, it's the Urban Affairs College, like across from the In-N-Out. And they're like, the Urban Affairs. I was like, you major in communications. Like, we're in the same college. How have you never been here? But
oh man,
if you come here for baseball and you take all your classes online, I guess you really have no reason to step foot anywhere else on campus.
It's becoming a lot of trend for a lot of transfers and athletes. They take a lot of online classes, especially the big names, so they don't get like hounded by people. They're just like the whole time. So
because Nas Cunningham is in my like community resilience class, and the first time I saw that, I was like,
yeah,
basketball, like, but still staying on the field, we're gonna take it on over to the Hustlin' Rebels. They've also had similar schedules to the women. They also played 7 games. Unfortunately, their record is a little bit different, and they went 2-5, but that's okay. They had a rough series against Air Force, and I believe they were at Air Force, so could it have been another elevation thing? Because they're also outside. And we know that our basketball team was struggling a bit with elevation up there indoors, so. And also I've just heard horror stories of when they have like baseball and softball like in Colorado during the summer tournaments,
Oh boy. Hey, but the ball flies up there.
Yeah.
It flies through the air.
I mean, clearly, because these were all pretty high-scoring games. They played the 13th and the 14th, so on that Friday, they lost 16-5. And then on Saturday, they had a doubleheader, and they lost 18-16 and 15-11. So, yeah, I guess the ball really does fly, because
18-16, that's a football score.
Yeah. That's like not even low scoring either. That's like a pretty good scoring.
It's like a good defensive football game right there.
Yeah. But it's okay, because then they played against Cal State Fullerton on the 17th, and it was a pretty good game. They won 4-3, and Drew Berrigan knows no other way to start off a game, apparently, but then to hit a homer. So he got the early lead for the Rebels, 1-0. And then in the 5th inning, so there was like a bit of a gap. I believe Fullerton was scoreless in the first, 7 innings.
Oh, man.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. And then in the 5th inning is when the Rebels were able to get another run, I believe, and Cooper Sheff and Jack Salmon were able to get base hits, and then Gunnar Myro allowed for Cooper to score, extending that lead to 2-0. And then Fullerton tied it in the 7th, but it's okay, because Aiden Garcia and Nin Burns II responded with back-to-back singles, and then, Sheff came up again to load the bases. I feel like, I don't know, all these guys, I was talking to a player last night who was saying, I feel like we get so inconsistent, but also feel like that's just a thing in baseball. I feel like it's extremely hard to stay consistent in baseball.
Yeah, you can't expect to go up every time and, hit a home run or hit a double or, Yeah,
because I feel like every episode I'm also saying the exact same name. So you have to be at least somewhat consistent in order for us to read it, because we're reading the stats from the game recaps. So clearly you have to be at least a little consistent. So you guys got to give yourselves more credit. And then, Big Fish, Jack Salmon, he allowed for the go-ahead run to score, but Gunnar Myro said that was not enough. So he extended the score 4-2 on a fielder's choice hit. And then the Titans got a solo home run, but it's okay because Jace Evangelista was able to close the game, and I think he grabbed the win. And then Canadian Ryan Martin made his Rebel debut. I believe he was injured, so this was his first Rebel debut again. And he struck out 2 in 19 pitches and did not allow a run. And then, Drew and Cooper both had 2 hits.
Nice. I know, Drew Berrigan. He had a good week. Sorry again that I I guess I don't like you, but keep
Hey,
winning.
you're the one keeping the joke going.
Keep winning baseball games for us, please.
Yeah, so after that game against Cal State Fullerton, then they went and won against Utah Tech 11-1. And I don't think I've said it before, so I'm pretty sure this is true. We had our first Hustlin' Rebel able to throw more than 6 innings. Parker Dilhoff pitched an entire 7-inning game. So
a complete game.
Yeah, complete game in 7 innings. So I guess that'll tell you that they got run ruled. And he had 9 strikeouts and 0 walks. That's
Man.
Paul Skeen's better. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. And then, again, Drew knows no different and hit another solo home run to start off the bottom of the first. So that's 2 games in a row?
With a homer.
I believe that was his 6th home run of the season. I think he's leading the team in homers. So,
And he had a triple last night.
yeah, but we'll get there because that game,
Yeah. Pretty crazy game.
yes. But still at Utah Tech, Johnny Rodriguez was 4 for 4 with 4 singles, and he accounted for 3 of the runs. And then Big Fish. Can I just keep calling him Fish? Do you think they'll know?
Nah, I think they'll be okay.
Jack Salmon went 3 for 4 with 2 singles, a double, 2 RBIs, and 1 run scored. And then Aiden Garcia, who is catching up to Drew, had his 5th home run of the season in the 7th inning. And then, in the 7th inning, they run ruled the Utah Tech. And then there was a walk-off 2-run home run from Gunnar Myro to Mercy Rule, Utah State.
Yep, a walk-off Mercy Rule 2-run homer. To send them home.
And then they lost on the 22nd to Utah Tech 11-1. So same score, but switched.
Yeah. Man. I guess it was their turn to score 11 runs. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
Yeah. But,
best game of the weekend. Or the week. The couple weeks.
I thought you were talking about that Utah Tech one.
No.
I was like, we lost.
Absolutely
What do you mean?
not.
But you start us off because you have a little bit of notes, but I was there, so.
Yeah, they played inside Las Vegas Ballpark. Mm-hmm. That's where the Aviators play, and that's where the Ace played a couple of weeks ago, where they faced off against the Angels. And
aren't they playing there again in June?
Yeah.
Against the Brewers.
Are you gonna go?
I don't know.
You're not gonna be here, right?
I will come back.
Oh.
If Christian Yelich is in that dugout, I will be back.
Oh boy.
I will also be in that dugout. Why are you laughing?
Nah, you got it. But yeah, probably the most exciting game between the couple of weeks for, even though it was a loss, probably the most exciting game for the group, as they got to play in a basically major league ballpark.
A professional level, at least.
Technically, it's a minor league ballpark,
but we've had the pros play there a couple times, so why not consider it? It's professional nonetheless.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, the game did not start out exciting.
No.
I truly thought we were going to get run ruled in the 4th. Sorry to say. I was with Maddie, she was doing socials, and I was doing photography, and we were in the ASU well, because how where we were last semester for the Aviators game, and it was not pretty. It did not start out pretty. But then I believe after the 4th or the 5th inning, ASU did not score.
Yeah.
So they scored 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 4 in the third, 0 in the 4th, and then 3 in the 5th. And then they were scoreless after that. But then
That 8th inning.
No. Drew.
Oh yeah, Drew.
Drew in the 6th got his, I think, 4th triple of the season. So it was a 2-run RBI triple. And then on a pass ball, I don't even know if it was that crazy of a pass ball. I think Drew just went for it. And then he stole home. So they got 3 runs in the 6th. But yes, the 8th inning is where it really kicked off.
8 runs in the 8th, I believe.
I think so. Yeah, 8 runs in the 8th.
Because who?
We can't get there yet. We still gotta lead up to it.
I'm getting excited.
Yeah. So we had Drew and Aiden Garcia with back-to-back singles, and then ASU had a couple errors that helped bring in, I believe, the fourth run, and then Nin Burns the second, followed with an RBI down the left field line, and Johnny Rodriguez had an RBI single, so the line just kept moving. And then Reggie Bussey had a walk that forced in a run, so I believe bases were loaded at this point. Go ahead.
Marcos Rosales with a grand slam. Yes, sir, to make the score 11-9.
12-11.
Or 12-11.
But the thing is, I was so upset. I could not get any pictures of this moment because we were no longer in the ASU well. We were kind of sitting by pretty much whoever was up
You
next.
can just sit wherever.
You really could just sit wherever. And we were attempting to get pictures there, and then I was like, oh, they're kind of getting a rally going. We should start getting to the dugout, you know? And then my brain was like, oh, they're not going to let us on the field. They're not going to let us in the inning, you know? So we stayed at the top. And then we hear the crack of the bat. And I'm like, oh, man.
Hear the crack of the bat, then you're like...
Yeah. And we hear them all yelling. I try to run down, and I miss it by this much. Because the guy did end up letting us on the field. Getting into our little spot. So I could have hypothetically gone up there 20 minutes earlier, but typically they don't let you on in during an inning. It has to be in between.
But yeah, shout out to Runnin Rebels for coming all the way back, being down a monster. What was it?
It was 12-0.
Yeah,
12-0 in the fifth. So, but the
showed heart.
The game ended with, I believe it was just Johnny on second. Well, wrong. He was on first and then tried to steal second, and they called him out. So that was would have been the second out of the inning, but they replayed it, and I was like, bro, I have my camera, and I'm like, guys, I got a picture. He's literally on base, and the guy is not touching him. He is safe. And then it took another 4 minutes for them to decide that Johnny was safe. And I was like, guys, I had the picture ready 4 minutes ago. But who's going to listen to me? I knew he was safe. But then unfortunately, Cooper Chef was walked. And then Big Fish, Jack Salmon, double play to end the game. But still, that's a win in our book, at least, I feel like. Because coming back... 12-0, and then able to put up 11 is still a pretty remarkable score, I would say.
Showed heart, and what's their record now? 16-9. Or 15-9.
16-9. I may be wrong. Let's check.
16-10, I believe.
15-10.
Oh shoot, it's all right.
I feel like I said that. Whatever. So regardless, the Runnin Rebels, as I said, have a pretty stacked schedule this weekend and then continuing into next weekend. But now we get to move into our Runnin Rebels.
Yeah.
Who,
season ended.
Yeah, season ended. They officially went into the postseason on March 11th. And we both worked the Mountain West tournament. And the lack of UNLV fans when we were the home team is ridiculous. There was more Boise State fans in the crowd during our game. Mind you, we were the first game. I don't think they were till the third game of the day. And there was more Boise State fans in there than Rebels.
Yeah. That was just the Wyoming game. The Utah game, the fans got shut out of the building.
Yeah, it really felt like we were in Utah. It was more blue in there. Yeah, I don't even know. It was so blue in there that it really... Their student section took up 2 sections. They traveled, at least... How many people you think?
Oh my gosh.
4 or 5?
Just about, yeah.
400 or 500?
200 people within 2 sections.
Yeah.
Maybe even more. And then there's people up like in the 200s here, there. I'm like, oh
yeah,
my
so
God.
they had the 2 sections completely filled for their students. So there was like a media section that took up one section in the middle, and then to like the left of you guys, I believe, was all Utah State people. And
left
then,
and right.
Left
Yeah.
and right?
Yeah, well, because we were right in the middle. There's fans this way going like this. There's people down on the first row syncing up the chants. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. But
they take their basketball very seriously.
yes, and we were 6-1 all time in the first round of the Mountain West tournament. And then in the last 10 years of Mountain West tournament play, UNLV had been 5-0 against Air Force, but we were able to break that curse against Wyoming. Because what was the curse? We would play Air Force, win, and then get to the next round and lose.
Yeah.
So did we really break the curse then?
Well, we didn't play Air Force, so I'll take it.
We'll just say we broke the Air Force curse.
Right.
But we still have not been able to get past the quarterfinals.
Yep.
But we were 0-10 against every other team, so at least we are what now? 1-10?
1-10.
1-10.
We're gonna try to get that back up.
Yes. Going into this round 1 game versus Wyoming, UNLV was the 8th seed, Wyoming was the 9th seed, and Kamani Hamilton led with 23 points, including the final go-ahead, and Dre Gibbs Lawhorn had 15 points, but was left scoreless in the second half. And the band was actually harassing him. Like, did you notice that at all?
No, but there was a lot of unhappy people between the Wyoming game and the Utah State game where he didn't play his best either.
Yeah, but the Utah State game, at least the band was like more respectful.
Yeah.
Like obviously like the band's gonna say some stuff, but the Wyoming band was, I'm sitting right there, like trumpet in my ear, pretty much. And they were like commenting on his looks, like just all of that. And he was like crashing out like pretty much this far, like yelling at them too.
Respect.
I mean,
we're standing
yeah.
on business, and they went home. So
Right. So if you're going to have a disrespectful band, at least win.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? But it's okay. I digress. Walter Brown had 9 points and 10 rebounds.
couple clutch threes.
Yeah.
Walter Brown had.
Walter Brown
late in
really
the
came
game.
alive, I feel like, in
did.
the postseason.
Late in the second half
Mm-hmm.
of, even in the Utah State game, he played a really good game.
Yeah. And then Isaac Williamson had 8 points, and then Tyron Jones had 7 points, a career high tying 6 blocks and 5 rebounds.
Yeah, that's the
freshman.
That's the defensive player of the year, Mountain West Conference. Dog, like, what are we doing, man?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like they should have waited for the season to maybe end completely before awarding these, just because Tyron really defensively outplayed every single other player in the conference, I fear.
That's the problem. It's the
Regular
awards are
season.
regular season awards, but honestly, that doesn't mean anything. You can have all the points, not make the playoffs, not compete for anything, and you be forgotten.
Right.
So, but
Like,
yeah.
I don't even know who won.
Yeah.
Do you? You
Who?
probably know.
Won what?
Defensive Player of the Year.
No.
Yeah, see? But we do know Tyron Jones, and
Yeah.
everyone knows Tyron Jones because he is a freshman doing what he does.
Yeah. 6 blocks. I believe the second highest game that he had in blocks was 4. That was against GCU. And there's a couple other games where he had 4 blocks.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how that
He had
doesn't-
4 in the Irvine game.
Yeah, I don't understand how that doesn't win you defensive player
And he
of the
does
year.
it so easily. He literally just, like, he just grabs it from them pretty much. And then they went on a 10-0 run over 3 minutes and 14 seconds with 6:33 left in the first half, which gave them a lead of 30-15, and then led 44-31 going into the half. Thing is, I had a midterm during this time, so I don't know what happened between when I left, when they were leading by so much, and when I came back and they were not leading by so much. So can you give me a little...
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a trend with this team. They have a sizable lead and then lay off the gas pedal a little bit.
Did
And,
that at Irvine too.
yeah. I don't know. It seems that, the coaches that they play against adjust really well and kind of get an idea of what, UNLV likes to do. Because I know in not the UC Irvine game, the UC Irvine game where they were up a lot, they're switching to a zone, and then that condensed the lead down a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know. Runs like that happen all the time in basketball. But you got to keep your pedal to the metal, especially in playoff scenarios.
Yeah, but ultimately. Oh, no, actually, not ultimately. We got to get this first. Wyoming went on a 17-5 run in the second half, and they cut the deficit to 49-48. And I believe I came back around this time. And then they went on another 10-0 run to lead 58-55 with 7:41 in the game. But ultimately, the Rebels did win and move on to the next round, 73-70, thanks to Kamani's and one with 2 seconds in the game. And I think we should take a quick listen to what Coach Pastner had to say after that game.
Clip farming. Let's check it out.
Coach Pastner making quite the comeback your Runnin Rebels did. How were they able to get this one done?
Couple things. First of all, credit to Sundance Wicks and Wyoming. Very good basketball team, very well coached. They got really good players. When we got to the tournament, I had so many fans text me that this is a tournament of horrors for UNLV. It's the house of horrors. That meaning that the last 10, and I said horrors, Horrors, by the way, okay? But here's the thing. They said the last decade, UNLV's been 0 for 10 in all games in the Mountain West Conference tournament except Air Force, not named Air Force. And they haven't been in the semis for over 13 years. So they said, they haven't won a game in over a decade against somebody not named Air Force. I wanted to beat San Diego State so bad, but I always believe this in life. Things are deeper than they look on the surface. Because of our loss, it gave us a chance to play Wyoming. If we had won, we would have played Air Force. So now we broke the streak. Things in life are deeper than they look on the surface, and because of that, we got to play Wyoming, and the house of horrors, Horrors, is broken. We broke the streak. God bless the Mountain West Conference, God bless the Rebels, and God bless the United States of America, land of the free because of the brave.
Yeah, thanks, Coach Pastner, for that fun clip.
He was super excited. God bless the America. God bless the Mountain West Conference.
He seems like he's out of a movie.
Yeah.
I love him. He's so
is.
funny.
He is. He is a good coach, too.
Yeah. But moving on to the quarterfinals where they competed against Utah State. They swept Utah State in the regular season, and I believe they were the only team to beat them at home.
Yep.
But it is hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. So unfortunately, the team did have their, I think, tied for lowest scoring game of the season, and they fell 80-60. But we still have our highlights, as we always do. So Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn had 17 points, Kamani had 11, and Walt had his career-high 11 points. Mm-hmm. And then Tyrant went double and nines for 9 points and 9 rebounds. And this was an unfortunate game because we didn't know at this point whether or not the team was going to be invited to the NIT. So when we reported on it 2 weeks ago, we said that Kamani and Howie, who both fouled out, that was their last collegiate game. Luckily it wasn't, but Howie actually didn't even play in the last collegiate game, so we'll get there in a second.
Yeah.
But Coach has always said that it was easier to win with Kamani in the game and not fouling out. So not only did he foul out, of course, but he got a flagrant and a tech, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Dre also had a tech, and then at that point, I do believe, though, everyone was also saying that, UNLV was so disrespectful during the game. Like, UNLV was the one starting all the arguments and, the fights and whatever. But you can see in the video, this is just me speculating. This is not fact. But that Kamani was turning away from whoever was talking to him at Utah State, heard something, and then turned right back around. And that, I believe, is when he got the flagrant, right?
Yeah, Utah State's not all goody-goody.
No, absolutely not. So...
Yeah, there's going to be trash talk anyway. But, yeah, I don't know. It was a little crazy that some of the players in the postgame, they were like, oh, yeah, well, they were talking mess, and, we had to show. Right. You don't need to say that.
Yeah.
We get it. There's trash talk anywhere. They're just not used to it because they're all
from Utah.
preppy. So, yeah. But Remember, we beat y'all in the regular season twice.
Swept y'all. Only
Yep.
team to beat you at home.
Yep.
So you can trash talk our guys all you want, but clearly it did something in the regular season. You're only saying that now, and what, you made it to the actual tournament, March Madness tournament, so keep that energy when y'all get eliminated probably next game. Moving on to the NIT.
But they actually won the...
I said the next game.
Oh, yeah.
I know. We literally said that they won. Who, against Villanova? Right?
No. They won the Mountain West championship.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. They made it to the March Madness tournament, but then they lost to... No, they won against...
Villanova, then lost to... who'd they lose to?
Whatever, you're talking so much smack and you got eliminated, so...
Utah State basketball.
Bro, I was there when they won. I knew that they won the Mountain.
Arizona, they lost to Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, I'll tell you what though, Mason Felslaw, he's a really good basketball player, and he's only a junior, so he'll be there one more year. Yeah, but yeah, we'll see we'll see next season.
We'll see next season. Well, will we though? Because we're probably gonna have the same roster.
Yeah, we'll see if we beat y'all.
Again, that's speculative. Not our business yet.
Nah.
Portal technically hasn't opened yet, right? Yeah, so we'll see. But moving on to the NIT Round 1 against UC Irvine, where they played at the very small Brent Event Center. And if you think that UNLV fans don't show up for games, how do you have 5,000 seats? We have double, triple the seats?
Yeah.
And I believe that there was 1,000 total.
Yeah.
And 200 were there's actually quite a lot of UNLV fans because Isaac Williamson's whole family basically came out because they're from California, and he had a whole clan there.
He had a good game too.
He did for the amount of minutes that he played. So we'll get into that in a second, but Kamani was the lead scorer with 14 points, 4 steals, and 2 blocks. And we were on the side, they were scoring when it happened, but he had a crazy dunk rattled the freaking backboard.
Made ball dogs.
Yeah.
I remember the first game that he had another dunk like that was against Boise State, and then Whit and I are calling the game, and then he slams it down oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then Tyron Jones had 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 blocks, because again, he loves to block. And then Isaac Williamson went 4 for 8 on threes, scoring 13 points. And then Howie had 12 points and 9 rebounds, probably would have had more, but he got injured late in the second half. He came out, went back in, but clearly something happened because he was not able to play against Tulsa. So,
Yeah.
that's what I meant when I said he didn't play his final collegiate game. So I guess this was his final collegiate game, which...
Yeah.
Actually, there's a rumor going around, again, speculative, not any fact, that he's trying to get another year of eligibility.
That would be cool.
But that's also dependent on whether he would stay here for that year of eligibility.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. And then Dre again, 12 points in the first half, and I believe he remained scoreless the rest of the game and was in foul trouble, getting his 4th with 11 minutes to go in the second half.
Yeah.
And then there was a moment, I don't know what it is with these bands, talking smack and, getting scared, because there was another dunk, I think, by Tyron, where he, dunked it and, kind of, stumbled forward and, ran to the band, and there was, one specific band member that was, yelling specifically at Tyron, and Tyron, stumbled, ran towards him, and he was, and, ran behind the rest of his band. Yeah, that was so funny. I mean, what are you gonna, talk smack and then a 6'10" man runs at you?
Nah, but they probably were and then got scared.
No, they were.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I was standing right there. But shout out the drummer for Irvine. He seemed so sweet, just from afar. We thought that was funny, too. But moving on to round 2, the season-ending game in the Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah. They lost 70... Oh, I didn't even say the score of the Irvine game. They won 75-72. Shouldn't have been that close, I don't believe. As we talked about, they like to get a high lead and then they kind of step off the gas.
Like to raise our blood pressure for
Definitely. Sure. Because I don't think they ever got the lead. I could be wrong, but they definitely tied it at some point, and like some UC Irvine kid was like, to me, and then they lost. So I did it back.
Real.
I mean, I wasn't working. I was as a fan.
Gotta return the favor.
And then he like turned so fast for me. He saw me and went.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. Sorry, Tulsa. UNLV was out-rebounded 49-23 in the game, and Tulsa's bench outscored UNLV's 20-0. That sounds really bad, but as I mentioned, Howie was injured with the ankle injury from the previous game. Jacob Benarby, was injured with a back injury. Don't know how that happened. Could have been like a long-term kind of thing that kind of came back, I guess. But yeah. So with the starting five, we had Dre, Kamani, Tyron, Isaac, and Walt. And of those 5 players, Tyron played a full 40.
Yep.
As a freshman. Dre had 39 minutes, Kamani had 38, Isaac had 37, and then Walt had 36. So in an attempt to give these guys a break, Emmanuel Stephan only played 4 minutes. Al Green and Naz Cunningham each played 3 minutes. And it's kind of hard to do something like score it all in the short amount of time, I guess. Especially when you still have like Tyron in.
Well,
you just feed it to Tyron.
Yeah. It also, they got out-rebounded. One of the tallest players for UNLV, Emmanuel Stephan, he had 4 fouls in the first half. So that doesn't...
4 fouls in 4 minutes?
Yeah. That's why my dad and I were watching the game, and then he picked up his 4th foul, and I was like, oh, wait, it's only the first half. And we were like, bro.
Okay, in my defense, I was driving back from California, and I could not watch it. So we were like, I had Matthew reading out the play-by-play, but I did not know that.
Yeah.
He probably would have played longer had that not happened.
Oh, yeah.
But, whatever, I guess. Dre had 29 points, which is nothing unusual. That's actually his highest scoring game of the postseason. And then Isaac had 10, Kamani had 9, and Kamani also had 6 rebounds. But I think my favorite stat of this game is Tyron, just because...
Piling up the stat sheet.
Yeah, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they officially ended the season and are continuing that streak that I mentioned, I think last semester, where they have made a 3-pointer in 1,295 games. I think still leading the NCAA in that.
NCAA record.
Yep. And before we end this episode, I just want to give credit to Coach Passner because I know that a lot of people may not feel this way. And also, like, my close personal friend, Josh Passner, because we interviewed him. But, like, he became coach, I believe, exactly a year ago from when this episode is airing. So, March 25th. Portal closed April 22nd, I believe. He just became coach. Portal closes less than a month later. You don't get a lot of time to do recruiting or signing anyone. But he still was able to make the roster that he did. They still were able to get the record that they did. And I don't know. It's been really fun seeing Passner coach. He is probably, if not the most charismatic and enthusiastic coach that I have ever seen. And I don't know. I have a feeling that if he stays coach long enough, he can get us back to that 90s energy.
Yeah, Coach. You have a hell of a job, coming to a program that, has not seen the glory days since 1990 where they won a national championship, and you have the daunting task of trying to come back here and, build a strong culture and bring the fans back. But, even from when Coach got hired, he was out in the community, always talking to people. He even said, he leaves his email open. You can email him, call him, text him, whatever. But he's just a great human being. There's not a lot of coaches that will even sit down and talk to the media for 5 minutes or whatever. But he takes about 20. And
he spoke to us for 30 almost?
Yeah, and they had practice right after that, and cut into his practice. But yeah, we're just super appreciative, and we're super excited for what's to come. And I don't know, I'm super excited.
I'm excited. I hope that next season UNLV fans and the rest of the culture is able to give this program a chance and not just immediately write them off just from the record of this season, because they played harder teams than what their record shows. I mean, we got a quad one win against Memphis. And everyone seems to forget about that. Didn't they beat Stanford at Stanford?
Yep.
So, I don't know. This team is better than what their record says. And I know it's going to be hard. I know there's, obviously already talk of the portal and how many people are actually going to be staying. But I think Coach is able to do it again. He has more time this time to build up that roster again. And
has more time to convince people to come to the games.
Right. Because the Reno game was probably the most packed that I've ever seen Thomas and Mack. And
they won.
So that kind of just shows...
Crazy how that works.
When people show up, they win.
Yeah.
All I know is we will be covering those games next semester, your last year, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we will be covering those games, of course, next semester. Next semester. They play later in the semester.
Yep.
But...
super excited.
Yes.
Go Runnin Rebels.
Go Runnin Rebels.
We have faith in Josh Pastner.
We love Josh Pastner.
We
love the three. Sorry. If you've been to a Runnin Rebels game, that's like the ad, with the sprinklers or something, I think. Anyway, he loves the three, and we love Josh Pastner. But I believe that is all the time we have for today. Thank you guys for watching episode 6, and make sure to continue to support your UNLV athletics because, as we just mentioned, when you show up, it helps.
Show up and show out. Dog, we're going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been your host, Maile Palacios, with my co-host, Thomas Gobbo.
Yep. Shout out Josh Pastner. Shout out all the UNLV athletics going on this week. And, we're cheering for you guys as it is winding down on this
year.
My junior year and your sophomore year.
Yep.
But we still got a couple more episodes to go. Mm-hmm. And we're not going anywhere, but we will see you next week.
Peace.